already checked everything.
I know what you're
The
gonna say.
runway
It's disgusting.
of Balenciaga
It's
Adidas.
It's so boring. I really don't like what they're doing over at Balenciaga now. I really liked I was hoping there would be a more Yeezy Gap Balenciaga experience created when I heard that Adidas and Balenciaga was gonna do a collab. But it just doesn't work. The only thing I really liked is the Balenciaga Adidas Triple S. I kind of liked that one, but it was boring. You know, they brought up the Adidas Stan Smith and had a baby with the Balenciaga Triple S. You know, two very iconic sneakers. So of course you couldn't really go wrong there, but I think overall it was a very, very boring experience. Like everything I saw was just like, okay, you know, there was not a single piece that stood out to me. But it's a response to Nike and Louis Vuitton. You know, Nike and Louis Vuitton made a really nice collab through Virgil. R.I.P. Big Virg. R.I.P. Virgil Abloh, of course. And it was kind of already, of course, in the works when he was there. And I hope it turned out the way he wanted it to turn out, but it still turned out good. You know, Nike x Louis Vuitton was beautiful. I really liked their sneakers because it was the standard silhouette and Air Force One, but they kept it really interesting. Like they did a lot. They didn't just make a white Air Force, put the Louis Vuitton logo on it. That's it. You know, they also did that, but a lot of different shit as well. You know. So Adidas had to catch up, you know, so they released the Gucci X Adidas Simba, I think. Oh, no, it was the Gazelle, sorry. They released the Gazelle. It was super boring, nothing to it. Nobody's going to pay 800 euros for a Gazelle, you know. And then they had the Balenciaga, and again, I was just like, it's overpriced Adidas clothing, you know. There's nothing to it. There wasn't anything that I was like, oh wow, this is, you know, new or whoa, this is something cool. It was all just like, oh. So it's kind of outdone. I'm disappointed.
But did you watch the runway show itself?
Yeah, but I think a runway makes everything look very cool because of just the pure visuals that you can give it.
The visuals I really liked.
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of the mask, everyone was wearing masks.
Yeah.
That kind of, and the stock exchange in the back, and it had a stock crash.
You have to realize this is super cool, and I love visuals they always do, but it's just the beautiful gift wrap of your present, you know? And that doesn't work for me. If you give me a shitty gift that is just beautifully wrapped, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, that's a beautiful wrapping. The gift is trash, but the wrapper is cool. It's not like...
And that I think is the difference between you being a designer and me being, well, an artist in the music and just liking how something looks, visual. Because I thought it was sick, but I didn't really look into the clothes that deep. The clothes I didn't really like you said. I don't have such a big opinion as you do about it. But I think visually, I was like, hey, this is cool.
Of course.
But then I read a bit of reviews about it, and that they said like, oh, it's a thing against capitalism and all these type of things. And I'm like, a brand of like Balenciaga pushing their clothes, making a statement against capitalism feels really weird to me.
But it's trying to make a story because the designs are whack, in my opinion. You know, it's literally all part of like the big story for them to just be able to put out lazy designs, you know?
No, but I do agree.
Like, I get that some people might think it also happened with Louis Vuitton, because if you look, of course there's a certain line in your designs, but still, how can you just blatantly copy what you've already done and just change it a little bit and then just be like, aha, yes, I can ask 1,000 for this sneaker that has already existed, you know?
But like, what is your opinion then? not this runway show, but on Balenciaga itself, because I feel like they like to miss a lot. Like they have some hard things, but Balenciaga likes to miss a lot.
The thing is, Balenciaga, I kind of liked it because they had a few very cool pieces, and I think every collection has this certain piece that I'm like, wow, that's a really cool piece and a beautiful fit. But then there's like so much more that is just plain boring, you know?
Well,
And for example, with the they also Kanye was seen wearing a new Balenciaga 2023 boot,
mm-hmm.
and the boot it felt so awkward. I don't know. It was like a very perfect combat boot, and it looked so weird. And it's like, okay, that's okay, you know, but it wasn't anything special to me.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, one piece that I always remembered of Balenciaga was the shirt with the bottom-up shirt like attached to it. Do you know that piece?
Yes.
If I find it, I'll put it up on the screen as well. And I really liked that piece because it was a very, you know, it wasn't anything I've seen before, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that spin.
Mm-hmm.
But that was only one of the pieces that I liked, you know, and I feel like Balenciaga keeps doing that, and they try to be controversial and try to do some weird shit.
Trying to be controversial, they're distressed
With
sneakers.
the distressed sneakers.
Just looking like a homeless
awful.
person.
Yeah,
I think it's...
Why would you charge 1.8 thousand for an awful looking sneaker?
But you know, that is my thing with capitalism again, and not against capitalism, but I'm not gonna put my economic statements. Anyway, what I meant with the capitalism thing, they say we make a claim against capitalism, right? But then they make a sneaker like that, fully distressed, which makes you look like a homeless person that almost has no money, a victim of capitalism. And then you put such a high price on it, again, promotes capitalism. So it's such a
it's such
hypocritical and
a
backwards thing there that I don't agree with it. And it's so off. And they talk against each other, so that's why I agree with what you're saying. Like, they try to put a story on there because it's lazy designs, it's lazy this, it's lazy. Do you think if Balenciaga continues like this, that
it's kind of already being the downfall of Balenciaga? Yeah. There's a lot of people a lot of big critics and a lot of fashion people that are already like, it's just getting boring now. Like, to get back on the distressed sneaker, I'm gonna edit this so it looks like I'm a magically have this appear. I hope this looks good in the editing. It's probably gonna look trash, but it doesn't matter. Gucci did this wannabe old looking sneaker, and it had certain like quote unquote distressing, you know, it was just made dirty, made to look old. But it was because it was like, you know, an out there shoe. But it's not like just a bad shoe, you know? This is a really good shoe. It's really like high quality. And I really love these, and they get more hated on than they should be. But they're really good shoes. But it isn't as lazy as what they did with Balenciaga, you know? It has way more details. It has way more, you know, way more things to it than the Balenciaga sneaker. The Balenciaga sneaker was really just a plain, boring Converse-looking sneaker, completely destroyed and just made ugly, and then put Balenciaga on it, and that's it.
Yep. It's,
you know,
funny that you take a Gucci shoe, because it follows in what I was about to ask. Back in the day, Gucci and Louis Vuitton were doing this kind of battle, but Gucci was kind of more the shit, right? And then Louis had a Virgil, and I feel like in the Gucci-Louis battle, Virgil kind of made Louis win, because Gucci...
But it took them in a different lane, in my opinion.
Yes, but...
it's... Gucci has stayed kind of a high-end fashion, but like for older people, I would say. Yeah. Because they still make really nice designs and they still make really nice things. Even though their Adidas collab was also not it. Again, just boring. Better than the Balenciaga one, I'm gonna say that. But still boring, you know? But they did well. But Virgil really took Louis Vuitton and put it more against a streetwear perspective, taking it a spin on, you know, Off-White. Like, it really, you can clearly see his influence, and it started to go up against brands like Balenciaga more. And I think it was just kind of, it took Gucci out of the talk of being the two concurrents. Concurrents.
Opponents, something like that.
Opponents,
Anyway.
yeah. It took them out of that conversation because it completely kind of switched what Louis Vuitton was for. You know, it wasn't just an old person brand anymore. Making really good leather goods and blah blah blah. He took it and made it more streetwear.
He made a new thing out of it, but a big thing.
Yeah.
And do you feel like Balenciaga needs a Virgil now to find, like, to
I think every brand
to survive?
needs a Virgil.
Yeah, but like does Balenciaga really need it right now to like switch it around?
I wouldn't say to survive, but to get relevance back. Like, yes.
And
because there is a lot of designers out here and like heads of design that try to create what Virgil created, kind of, meaning they want to have high-end fashion and have this cool thing, but give it that streetwear spin, but nobody can really do it, in my opinion. Like, there isn't anybody that has come near what Virgil did.
that's what I was
with
gonna
that.
ask. Is there a next? Well, not
I
a
would
next
say-
Virgil, maybe.
I would
but
say
it's just-
somebody that is still doing it good, but that was really close, was Heron Preston, Matthew M. Williams. I love Matthew M. Williams, what he does with Elix, what he does with Givenchy. You know, it kind of followed the footsteps of Virgil Abloh, having his own brand Elix, and then, you know, taking Givenchy and also making it more streetwear oriented.
But is there anyone that you say, maybe with the Balenciaga style, or that can be linked to Balenciaga, that should take it and put it back?
Even though he has his own brand and it's amazingly big, I think if Kanye wouldn't have... No. If Kanye wouldn't have had Yeezy and he would have been in Balenciaga would have been way bigger than where it was now, because I would love to have his kind of Yeezy influence, but then with the Balenciaga take on it from the start. But that never happened, you know? He started Yeezy and blah, blah, blah. But I think that would have been really interesting, but I couldn't right now put anybody... Like, I don't think putting Kanye there now would be a smart idea at all. So I don't know. I couldn't, you know... Some people were saying Tyler, the creator, should take in Virgil Abloh. No. Virgil Abloh's place in Louis. Yeah. But I don't know. It's
funny. I was just about to ask you, like, who took Virgil's place right now?
There is nobody really taking his place because there is nobody really like him.
Yeah, but he had a role. Did they find someone new to fill that role? Like, who is it now? Because I don't know at the moment.
Right now, I don't know actually, because I read something, but I've forgotten it, about that they found someone new, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's 100% decided yet.
They wanted to take Kanye actually to follow Virgil.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there's nothing, it hasn't happened yet, so I'm not, but I heard some rumors about that too. But I don't think there's currently anybody like really assigned to it. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. I'm not. There's nobody like Virg.